everyone and welcome to the Charlie's Nail Art YouTube channel. My name's Amanda and I'm one of the ambassadors here at Charlie's Nail Art. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a design using this gorgeous glitter dot mix. So here we have a circus, which is full of gorgeous gold, pinks and blues. And I also love that these glitter dot mixes are multi-cut as well, because it makes them a lot easier to work with when you are doing different designs. So for this design, I'm going to be doing a French nail with a bit of a twist. We're going to be doing a glitter tip, but we're going to fade the glitter dots out into a clear tip. So I really hope you all enjoy watching. To begin with, I've taken a bead of a nude acrylic. This one has got a little bit of sparkle to it, and I did flick through my colours to find a nude acrylic that would complement those glitter dots, which is one thing I recommend doing, because certain tones of glitters will suit more nude colours and certain tones will suit more pinky colours. So I went for this nude acrylic, which does have a bit of a shimmer running through it as well, because I felt as though it would really complement those glitter dots. And what I'm doing here is I'm just placing that bead of acrylic down, and I'm using the tip of my brush to create the shape that I want my smile line to be, and I've used the belly of my brush to flatten that bead of acrylic out. Then I'm going to come in with another bead of acrylic and just build up this extended nail bed. We want this to cover what would be the entire nail bed on our client, and we also want to make sure that we're building up enough height that we're going to be able to file this crisp and push our glitters up against it and then encapsulate those. Here I'm coming in with my cuticle and apex bead, so as you can see I'm pressing that back towards the cuticle, and then I'm keeping the bulk of it where I've applied it to build up my apex, and then I'm just going to blend that down over the previous bead of acrylic, keeping this all as neat as I possibly can just to reduce the amount of finish filing. Again, I'm always using the sides of my brush to keep that smile line shape as neat as possible. Even though I'm going to file it crisp, I do like to try and get most of the shape done with my brush. Now, I absolutely love the Charlie's Nail Art glitter dots because they are so versatile. You can do full nails with them. They're great as backgrounds for stamping. They look great in a French tip. So I really wanted to give a French tip a go with them, because I have recently done a glitter fade video up on the channel with them already. So I did leave my acrylic to set, and then I'm going to come in with a file and I'm just refining the shape, really making it sure it's nice and symmetrical, and also making sure it's nice and crisp. You want to make sure that you're holding your file flat up against that acrylic, that you're not bending your file into it, because you want to make sure you're getting a nice symmetrical shape to the extended nail bed. Then I'm going to make sure to clean away all of that dust, and we're now ready to come in and work on the tip of the nail. So because the glitter dots are quite chunky, I decided to put a base acrylic down underneath them. So I've gone for a gold acrylic. Again, I will always try and find an acrylic that's going to complement the glitter that I'm working with. So either a acrylic that's the same colour or one that's just going to work nicely with the glitter dots. So I went for this gold acrylic here, and I'm just placing that right around that smile line and taking it down into the wings of that nail. I'm not going to take it all the way to the tip of the nail because, like I said, I want the tip to be clear. So I'm mainly applying the acrylic where I'm going to be applying my glitters, and by having the acrylic base down underneath, it just means if there's any small pieces or any small gaps where you can't get your glitter pieces to, the acrylic is going to cover them and just give the glitter dots a bit of a background. So once I've done this, I've dipped into a bead of clear acrylic, and then I've dipped into my raw glitter dots. When I pick up my bead of acrylic that I'm dipping into my glitter dots, I'm making sure it's quite a wet bead of acrylic, and I'm also making sure to keep lots of monomer in my brush. That way I'm able to easily move the glitter dots around into place. And then here I'm just going to start dipping into the glitter dots and picking out some of the smaller pieces so that I can still get some glitter dots down those wings of the nail. I've left the bulk of them where I applied them with that first bead, so then I can just fill in gaps here and there with some additional pieces. You want to make sure you're also keeping this quite thin because we have still got to encapsulate. So that's why I don't like to add any additional acrylic when I'm picking up these additional glitter dots. I'm just picking them up using my wet brush. And then as we start getting down towards the very tip of the nail, I'm just spreading those glitter dots out and fading them out into a glass tip. I didn't want the tip of the nail to be completely glass. I just didn't want that gold acrylic to be underneath them so that you could see the glitter dots fading out a little bit more. And at this point as well is when I'll take a look at the nail and just add in any pieces of glitter where I want them to be. So if I want a specific colour, I'll pick out that. But I was quite happy with how this looked. So I'm going to give those glitter dots a minute or two to set in place just so they don't move around when it comes to encapsulating. I'm then going to encapsulate them with my clear acrylic. So I've placed my bead down and blended that back to make sure that it goes right down into those wings, making sure that there's no gap between the extended nail bed and the clear acrylic as well. Then I'm going to just build up the very tip of the nail, making sure there's enough thickness so that if this was on a client or if I was wearing the design myself, it wouldn't snap. You need to make sure you have built up your strength and structure at this point. Always like to blend my acrylic back or forward into the previous bead of acrylic that I've applied, just so there's a nice seamless transition between the beads of acrylic. And again, at this point is when I'll just look at the nail from all angles and add in any acrylic where it's needed. I always like to focus on these little tiny pieces at the side of the nail because that's where I know I tend to miss when it comes to applying the acrylic. So I'm just making sure that I've built up enough acrylic there. You want to make sure your glitters are fully encapsulated, otherwise you'll end up filing them off when it comes to filing. Off camera, I then did file and buff this nail, and then I gave it a good wipe with some acetone just to remove any dust that was left on the surface of the nail. So we're then ready to come in and top coat. So I'm top coating with a gel top coat. I'm going to apply a nice even layer of this to all of the nail, and then because we have got that slightly transparent glass tip, I'm also going to come underneath the tip and apply a little bit under there, just because that's going to really help the clarity of the nail. Once I have finished applying my gel top coat, I'm going to pop this in my LED lamp to cure for 60 seconds. And then this, guys, is the finished result. How beautiful does this look? And it's just another fun way of using the glitter dots. I would happily wear a full set of these on my nails. As always, I have left a link to the website in the description box below, along with a discount code, so do check that out. Thank you all for watching. Bye bye.